Hey, what is going on, you cranky crustle? Today we're taking a look at my first Terapagos EX build. It is a tank Terapagos EX build, and I'm pretty excited for this archetype to see how it ends up playing in the format, in the meta, once Stellar Crown finally comes out and we truly see what it is capable of. Before we jump into it, though, I'm sure y'all are wondering, Azul, that's a pretty dope playmat you got there. Where'd you get it? The answer is, of course, qualitypatchdesigns.com. Check them out. They got a ton of Pokemon merch, not just mats and shirts and hats, but they got ties and posters. They've got it all. Link, of course, will be in the description, and you can use code AzulGG over there as well to get yourself a discount. Thanks, as always, to Quality Patch for sponsoring me and my content. Okay, so Terapagos EX, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a basic Terra Pokemon with 230 HP, and it's got the Unified Beatdown that does 30 damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So, of course, we're going to be taking advantage of the new Area 0 Stadium that increases our bench to 8 Pokemon. So we have 4 Terapagos EX. I'm super heavy on the Pokemon right now. Once again, all of these videos that I'm doing with any of these deck profiles, these first takes, like 0 games tested, just my experience and intuition in the PokemonTCG being applied here to what seems like a good place to start. So we're super heavy on Pokemon, but I think maybe some Pokemon recovery over some of the Pokemon might be warranted. We got 4 of the Boufflant, and this is really where the Terapagos becomes a tank. That Curly Wall ability on the Boufflant says as long as we have another Boufflant in play, we reduce the damage that our basic colorless Pokemon take by 60. So that effectively gives Terapagos 290 HP as a basic Pokemon, and this also protects all of our other basic colorless Pokemon as well. You can only apply 1 Curly Wall ability at a time, though, so otherwise if we had 4 of these in play, we'd be taking a reduced 240 damage, which would be absolutely absurd. So yeah, it is reduced to just 1 of the Boufflant's abilities, and I only play this Boufflant. There's some other Boufflants we could play. It doesn't have to specifically be another of this Boufflant, but it could be a different Boufflant. We just need 1 of the Curly Wall ability Boufflants in play, but this one has 100 HP, which we can find with Fan Rotom, so it seems like the best one overall, but you could mix it up a little bit with some of the other Boufflants in the format. There's not a ton of them, but there's a couple of different choices to choose from. None of them have 100 HP, though. Up next, the engine of the deck, another new card coming out, the Noctowl. Also has 100 HP, which is going to be pretty important here when we talk about the next card. It's got that Jeweled Hunt ability. When you evolve it, you may search your deck for 2 trainer cards on evolution. That is pretty powerful ability right there on a stage 1. Of course, we have 4 Hoot Hoot to go with that. And of course, the initial setup of our deck comes through the Fan Rotom. The Fan Rotom's fan call ability we can use once during our first turn only on the game. And I play 2 of these because pricing this sounds kind of miserable, to be honest. And also just drawing into it aggressively sounds pretty good as well. Like just naturally opening a Fan Rotom seems pretty cool. So I got 2 of these in here for that reason. Searches our deck for 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 HP or less. So we can find the Boufflant, Hoot Hoots, Noctowls, and they all go to our hand. Another cool thing about the Fan Rotom is we don't have to use it when we play it from our hand. We can nest ball 4 Fan Rotom and then like play a Research or play an Iono and then use Fan Call after we've already used the Research or Iono. So super ridiculously powerful setup ability on the Fan Rotom. And then I kind of just fill out the deck with a 1-on-1 Dusknoir here. We are playing like a 2-prized focus deck with Terapagos, so be able to force our opponent onto the 1 prize, the odd prizes with the Dusknoir. We also play the Briar supporter, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So that combos really, really well with Dusknoir as well. So I went with a 1-on-1 Dusknoir to kind of just like fill out the deck. I had like 3 slots left. I was at 57. I was like, all right, 1-on-1 Dusknoir seems okay. The only heavy draw supporter I play, Disruption supporter, is Iono. We just have 4 Ionos in here. And then from there, we have a ton of utility supporters. We have 2 Penny, and this is plays into the tank part of the Terapagos deck. Effectively have 290 HP with the Boufflant. We also play Bravery Charms in here, so we're going to have effectively have 340 HP. They punch our Terapagos. We pick it up with Penny. We send up a fresh Terapagos. We attach the energy of the Bravery Charm to that Terapagos, and we can repeat that a couple times. 2 Boss's Orders, of course, need some gust effects. 1 Turo's Scenario, similar to Penny, but it does allow us to pick up and reset Noctowl, or if we set up our Dusknoir and our opponent gusts it up, but we don't want to use that Cursed Blast yet, we could Turo and reset our Dusknoir as well. 1 Colress's Tenacity searches our deck for a Special Energy card and a Stadium card, which are 2 pretty big cards that we need to actually hit hard and hit in general. And then there's the Briar, new supporter coming out in Stellar Crown. If our opponent has exactly 2 prize cards remaining, if we knock out one of our opponent's active Pokemon during this turn with a Terra Pokemon, we draw 1 more prize card. So there's no more, oh, my opponent's on 2 prize cards, I'm going to attack with Radiant Charizard. Now if they KO my Radiant Charizard, they don't win the game. Now you can play Briar, and now you do win the game by knocking out the Radiant Charizard. I'm not sure how I feel about this card, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to love the gameplay that this kind of brings to the game, but mean, we're trying to make the best deck out here. I think it's going to be pretty good in this deck. So one of Briar, like I said, combos well with Dusknoir for a couple of reasons. One, we can force our opponent onto 2 prize cards. If they're on 3 prize cards, we can put them down to 2, and then we can Briar and potentially draw our last 2 prize cards, stuff like that. So seems pretty good to me. For Pokemon Search, keeping it simple here, for Ultra Ball and for Nest Ball. We do want to aggressively get through our deck. There's a lot of key cards we're trying to run into, like the Double Turbo Energy or some of our Pokemon, as well as the Stadium cards. I could actually see maybe just replacing the 4 Track and Shoes with 4 Great Ball, to be honest. That could also be another consideration here, but currently just have 4 Track and Shoes. I guess there could be an argument for Buddy Buddy Poffins as well. Buddy Buddy Poffins are a little bit limited. It only gets Hoot Hoots and Fan Rotoms, but early on, that'd be pretty good. Great Balls would definitely be a lot better later on in the game to help us find Noctowls, though. So currently rocking Track and Shoes, but could see just going with more Pokemon Search, because once we find Noctowl, like Noctowl's the big card for us to find. Find Noctowl, we're good to go. Got 1 Energy Lotto here, an item card, a more aggressive way to help us find our Double Turbo Energy off of Noctowl. Like, let's say we want a Boss's Orders for turn, then we could like Noctowl for Energy Lotto to find the Double Turbo. Hopefully, it's not a guarantee, of course, like the Colch's Tenacity, and then we can grab like Boss's Orders and Gust for the turn. 1 Counter Catcher, same reason, like an aggressive Gust when we're behind. Once again, synergizes really well with Noctowl when Noctowl finds any trainer cards. Only 1 Pokemon Recovery card right now and 1 Night Stretcher. Like I said, really heavy on the Pokemon count, but I think we could definitely scale that back a little bit and include some more Pokemon Recovery, Super Rods, Night Stretchers, stuff like that. Remember, we're in the testing phase. 1 Switch card, once again, an aggressive mobility card, and I've got another aggressive mobility card, this Scoop Up Cyclone. So I really like the idea of the Scoop Up Cyclone. You can combo with Boss, you can combo with Iono as a way to reset a Terapagos and heal it, or you can just pick up and reset a Noctowl, and then you have another Noctowl, another Hoot Hoot on bench to become a Noctowl to go find yourself any 2 trainer cards on your next turn. So I really like the idea of the synergy of the Scoop Up Cyclone with this deck, a way to aggressively heal our Terapagos that doesn't require us using our supporter for turn in terms of the Penny or the Turo, and then also just another way to reset the Noctowl. Master is going to be better than Prime Catcher, but whenever I can play some of the less played A-Specs and give them a shot, I always like to try and give them a try. 3 of the Bravery Charms increases our Terapagos' HP further, like I mentioned. Effective 290 with the Bouffalon. Now we're looking at effective 340 HP with a Bravery Charm. Now we are capping out at 220 damage with the Terapagos, but that's a lot of HP. That's a lot of HP, especially on a basic Pokemon. And then being able to back that up with basically doing whatever we want every single turn with Noctowl is pretty cool. 4 Area 0, increasing our bench to 8 spaces as long as we have a Terra Pokemon in play. Terapagos is a Terra Pokemon. Load up our bench with Hoot Hoots and Bouffalons, and I guess probably another Terapagos. And then finally, the 4 Double Turbo Energy, the only energy we play in the deck. Terapagos does attack for 2 colorless energy, so just keep it simple. 4 Double Turbo Energy. We don't really need any other energy besides that, I don't feel like. And that's it. That is my initial take on Tank Terapagos. Let's shuffle it up, and let's run through a game. All right, just about all shuffled up here. One thing I forgot to mention about the Terapagos' attack is that we can't use it on our first turn going second. So it's definitely a deck where we'll want to choose to go first, try and get down our Fan Rotom, set up some Hoot Hoots, maybe some Bouffalons. We don't even need to get down the Terapagos immediately. It would just be kind of nice if we could. All right, the draw there is pretty good, to be honest. I think I'm going to open the Fan Rotom here. We're going to pretend we're going first, as always, like I do with these videos. So draw for turn. Into a Terapagos, that's nice. Honestly, this hand is great. Go ahead and use our Fan Call, or actually I have my Trekking Shoes. Let's see, I don't really have the fuel to use the Ultra Ball. I'm going to Trekking Shoes first. And I'll take a Bouffalon, why not? Oh, bench Bouffalon, bench Terapagos. This is actually kind of sick. And then Fan Call. I'm going to go ahead and grab ourselves a Noctowl and a couple of Hoots. Let's see, there we go. There's 1. And there's number 2. All goes to the hand. Looks good. Bench the Hoot Hoots. Boom, we got the Bouffalon. Curly Wall on line. And our hand got Switch. Energy Stadium next turn to pull off an attack. And then we've got a Noctowl to go get ourselves an Iono, because we probably just want like a hard reset on the hand here, to be honest, coming up. And yeah, pass over to our opponent. I'm going to make a little bench space here because I'm assuming it's going to get a little bit wider. Our opponent might get the knock on our Fan Rotom. They might not. We're going to go ahead and say it survived. Doesn't really matter one way or another. Not a huge deal. Top deck another Terapagos. That's pretty good to throw down. Of course, we got to put the Stadium in place so we can get access to our bench. The extra bench. Oh, man. Attach energy. Switch into Terapagos. And then Jewel Hunt from the Noctowl. I'm going to go get an Iono here, I think. And I don't know, the only other thing that I can get that'd be like really aggressive would be like a Bravery Charm. So we can go for a Bravery Charm here. And then play the Iono. Last card goes to the bottom of the deck. Bravery Charm, Iono. Fresh 6 cards. Almost one too many. All right. Got Noctowl for next turn. I've got another Nest Ball here. I I don't really need to aggressively put anything in play. I could go grab a Duskull, though. A Duskull would be decent if we want to set up towards the Dusknoir at some point. And I don't play Rare Candy in this build. I just play a 1/1/1 Dusknoir. That'd be like another thing to potentially change up about the build, would be to add a Rare Candy possibly for a more aggressive Dusknoir play. See what we have left in the hand. I have another Hoot to bench, I guess. So may as well put that down. Boom. Stack up the Hoots. Can even stack up the Bouffalants. This is what I probably should do in these videos when we got like 8 bench Pokemon to work with. Okay, that's it. That is our turn 2. We got plenty of options for potentially more draw power. We've got a huge, massive HP Terapagos in the active. Another one on the back line ready to go. The possibility of the Dusknoir building up into that. And that's it. That's my first take on Tank Terapagos. I'll catch y'all in the next video.